He was amazing. And it really was from the third quarter on where I felt like in that third quarter, Morgan, he just came out aggressive.
Mm,
He didn't score his first points into this game until I believe 3 minutes into the second quarter. And coming off the heels of that game against Memphis, where you're like, man, he just wasn't being aggressive enough. You want to
yeah.
see him go in attack mode. The dude went into attack mode today, and he was knocking down his shots. But man, what a difference. It was kind of refreshing that on a night where the Kings weren't knocking down threes, they didn't get to double digits in threes, which is really rare for this team this year. They end up 9 of 32 from three in this game, but it was De'Aaron Fox in attack mode. You got to know that this team can't defend the paint very well. And Fox was getting to his spots, attacking the basket. The mid range was just a thing of beauty. Ugh.
It really was. He knew he could get to his spots, but it was how he was finishing every mid-range shot, every floater, every time he was getting into the paint. Like it was with so much dominance and confidence that I never felt like he was taking the wrong shot. His shot selection was beautiful. His team jumped on his back and he said, "All right, let's go to the finish line." Just a fantastic job. And wait, and Deuce, and I know they hit under 10 threes in this game, but how nice was it even to start that game? You saw the way that they were just pushing the pace and pushing the ball. It wasn't a whole bunch of shots in transition, but it was just like the pace was being pushed and they started hitting those outside shots from the start.
And I saw some backdoor cuts. I saw some moving without the ball today. I mean, that was really refreshing to see. I mean, Kevin Herter cutting back doors, Sabonis finding him. And then down the stretch, the Fox Sabonis pick and roll game was a thing of beauty. But going back to the start of the third quarter, I wrote it down because I just noticed it right away. Fox was coming out really aggressive. And then he had one play where Clarkson's driving on him. A great block by De'Aaron Fox, forcing a turnover. And then he comes down and takes it strong on a Olynyk to get the and one. I'm going, okay, this is the Fox you got to see all the time. Now, let's be honest, Fox isn't going to score 37 every night. He's not going to have 22 points in the fourth quarter every night, but I love when he plays with that edge, with that force, right? And he played with that tonight. I mean, I felt like he left it all out there. That set the tone for the Kings. And then the fourth quarter, I don't even know what to say. The guy was 9 of 10 shooting. He couldn't be stopped. And then it got to a point where Utah was such a mess. He had a wide open dunk at one point.
Dude, that dunk, that was with so much authority, so much force. The way that he threw that down, it was just one of those plays where I'm like, yep, you've taken a leap in your game. And not just because of that dunk, just like you said, the way that he was playing there in the fourth quarter, 37 points the whole game, but then the 22 points in the fourth. And then Mark Spears tweeted out that he set a new career high for points in a quarter, surpassing his previous high of 21 points in a third quarter against Atlanta in 2018.
Yeah, it was a big time performance. And how about the dunk? Here's G-Man. By the way, G-Man, sore throat right now. He is fighting through it. I text him. He says he feels fine. He's just lost his voice. But here's how G-Man called that Fox dunk late.
Utah fans coming out of their seats to their feet. A sellout crowd of 18,200 plus watching Fox drive. The hammer thrown down with the left hand by De'Aaron Fox, as emphatic as it could be. And Fox has had several emphatic jams of late, including a vicious two-hand rip against Kelly Olynyk last Friday night in Sacramento. This time, he just powered from the left wing above the iron, hammered it home. Still got 56 and a fraction seconds to go. Timeout taken, 113-109.
Man, that was big-time stuff. And how about G-Man gutting that out?
I love seeing G-Man like pushing through. Like you talk about just a guy that in other guys on the court that can push through pain and injuries. G-Man still making a great call with that type of throw. Someone get that man some tea.
Yeah, the finish of this game was absurd. There's a lot of weird things that happened. That was a great breakdown right there by the Jazz defense that led to that Fox jam. Clarkson gambled, and Fox went, okay, I'm going to go ahead and jam this. Vanderbilt came over, didn't really want to help on it, because he didn't want to be on a poster, I guess. I don't know. But Fox scores that. Then you had the weird play where KZ gets called for a foul on the inbound. Clarkson, I don't understand how that's a foul. I mean, Clarkson totally backed into him, put on the brakes. KZ, what's he supposed to do in that situation?
I kind of feel like KZ, there's some disrespect when he plays. Like for officials, sometimes they're like, oh, we don't know who this guy is. Oh, we got to call something on this type of play. And I don't know. I feel like I've noticed biases more and more throughout this season of the NBA and officiating. Not to complain, but just to point it out that it was really annoying. And he got the defensive player of the game chain, right?
Did he?
Yeah.
That's interesting. He ends up playing 7 minutes in this game.
Yep.
But I mean, down the stretch, he did play some good defense. I was watching going, he's got to play more. I said it before the game. I'm like, you got to play this guy more because he is long and you've got a ton of guys out there. Markkanen is just such a problem, and being able to throw KZ on multiple guys on defense is a very nice thing to have. So good for him for getting that.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for him. And I think that's it's more of probably the concept and the principle of hey, you not only stay ready, you understand your role and you make an impact in one way or another when we do have to put you in there. So really glad to see him get treated like that. But also, like you said, bullshit call.
Okay, so Fox's jumper makes it 115-112 with 23.3 to go. Markkanen launches a three. Tweet! The Kings foul him. Keegan Murray charged with the foul on the three-point attempt. So Markkanen goes to the line to shoot 3 free throws with 16.1 to go. Morgan Reagan, was that a foul?
So initially, I still don't know if his arm hit his arm. From Markkanen's standpoint, that was not shooting motion. You kicked out your leg. That's not a natural shooting motion. That part is the shitty part. But with the arm, I just question, did he even nick it? Is that where they're going with it? You just got to be more careful on a play like that if you're a rookie, if you're Keegan Murray.
I just thought it was such a garbage call.
And I'm with you. I'm with you. But at the same time, how those plays go, especially if it's a close call, the officials, especially depending on who it is, they're going to make that call.
It's the most annoying part of today's game in the NBA is if there's even the slightest of contact, these shooters just fall to the ground. They're so good at the deception of just putting their leg out just enough. Don't exaggerate it too much because they'll notice it. And there it is. There he goes to the line, and he makes all 3 free throws. Now, let's just hear the end of this game. This is a longer clip from the G-Man, but this is when the game goes crazy. He makes all 3 of his free throws, right? Markkanen does. The Kings do have a timeout. They don't elect to use it.
115, 114. And he's got it again. So, Kings don't take a timeout. We're tied at 115. 12 seconds to go. Fox walks the dribble across the logo. You know it's going to be Fox or Sabonis. Herter in the left corner. Fox in the perimeter. 4 seconds to go. Gotta go. Drives. Scoops. Scores! 0.4 of a second remaining. De'Aaron Fox with 22 in the quarter has given the Kings the lead. Baseball pass. Length of the floor. Markkanen launches. Scores! And, oh my goodness. I think the call on the floor is basket good. They'll review it. As you can well imagine, pandemonium in Salt Lake City. Fox got the bucket with 0.4 of a second to go. The baseball pass up the floor. The ruling on the floor, it's just been announced, is a 2-point basket, which would give the Jazz a tie if it is confirmed. Kevin Cutler on a headset with the replay center.
Ruling on the floor, no basket.
The ruling on the floor is no basket. Kings win.
He's coughing. He's coughing right now.
An unbelievable finish once again. And I apologize because my voice is virtually gone.
My poll question was, who was the dog of the game? De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, Keegan, or HB? I'll be honest, I think Fox may have some company. We may have to add G-Man to that. I think G-Man might be the dog of the game.
Amen. Amen.
How is he going to call the game tomorrow?
Deuce, no, honestly, like, how is he going to call the game?
I'll talk to him.
Okay.
May have to go to J. Ross
I
tomorrow.
was going to say, maybe Jason Ross steps in for tomorrow because, wow, though, good job, G-Man, like following through, finishing off that game, and especially with that type of ending. Like, that's what I love about G-Man, you guys, is that not only did he get excited for De'Aaron Fox's amazing take to the basket, but he still showed the excitement as a basketball fan in a possible game winner from Lauri Markkanen. And no, call was no good. Cough it up, G-Man, and rest that voice.
Let's talk about that sequence too, because there's 16 seconds left. Brown elects not to use a timeout, and Fox was utilizing that clock. I was surprised they didn't put some pressure on the Kings. It was like, hey, let's get Fox down the floor. He had the matchup he liked. He's got Markkanen on him, and although Markkanen has length, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is looking at him going, that's a bucket. You know, they don't have much rim protection on that team, and he knew he could get to the basket, and it was just a great play by Fox.
And that's it, Deuce. You saw the way that he was looking at the floor and going, what are my options? I've got a 7-footer that could possibly contest a mid-range shot if I take that. This team is not good when it comes to points in the paint. Actually, one of the worst teams allowing points in the paint. So I got to take this 7-footer all the way to the rack. That's what he did on the left side. Just an amazing decision. His shot selection throughout was just truly showed off his high IQ play. And that's what I love to see about Fox, the leap he's taken with that part of his game.
So he finishes with 37 points on 15 of 22 shooting. He was 1 of 5 from 3, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. He also had 6 assists in this game, along with 3 rebounds for the Kings. And after the game, Mike Brown said, yeah, he won that game for us.
Game by Foxy, I mean, he was good, and I don't want to praise him too much. And the reason being, I'm telling you, that's what that dude's capable of. He had a big game for us on the road, but I'm telling you, that's De'Aaron Fox, and it's great that the league, not just people in the NBA, but media, fans, they're starting to recognize his greatness. And he's just scratching the surface. He's just scratching the surface. This was one of the first games where he called me off multiple times, especially late. I made a play call. He's got the green light to override me. He did it tonight on multiple occasions. Great players don't get tired. Great players make their teammates good. And that's what he did tonight. And he came and won the game for us. That's what great players do on the road. Take my hat off to him.
Wow. So some high praise from Mike Brown and Morgan. I don't know how much you actually got to hear of it because of our audio setup, but he said that's De'Aaron Fox, and you did hear it.
All of it.
What do you make of what he had to say?
One, I love that De'Aaron kept calling him off. Said, nope. Like in Mike Brown already having that trust in his guy. You know, there's guys around the league who believe they have it and they don't. Mike Brown has seen the light with De'Aaron. De'Aaron has seen the light with his game. And the way that he started talking about him as a great player is deserved because he truly has taken so many steps and has evolved as a player to make an impact, not only as an individual, but for an entire squad.
I think De'Aaron's still learning who he is. Like, he may not even completely understand it. And you just hope that games like this help him get to the next level, right? Because that game against Memphis was not his best game, right? And you look, games like that are going to happen. That happens in the NBA season. But he played with a level of force. And we've seen that this year. It's not like this is the first game of the season we've seen that. But the difference I talk about all the time from good to great is doing it consistently, right? And I think Mike Brown's message there was not only to pump up his guy to the media, but he wants Fox to hear that and wants him to soak that in. Like, you're just scratching the surface. You have the talent. Great players don't get tired. Those are all little messages, I think, by Mike Brown trying to get De'Aaron to understand he is something that's really, he's a special talent in this league, and he can get to the next level.
Deuce, we've seen him now string enough games together on a consistent basis to be like, oh, he can do this consistently. Now he just needs to do it even more, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is his first season of making his outside shot a threat, being that force that you wanted to see when he could be explosive, going to the basket, being the defender that we knew he could be. Now he's started to see some of those games consistently together. Now, when he can just make it where it's an entire season of it, and people will identify him as that type of player.
Well, his teammate Domantas Sabonis was a monster in this game. Again, God, Sabonis just gives you a quiet 21, 14, and 8. Anyway, here's what he had to say after the Kings win in Salt Lake City, Utah, Morgan.
He's amazing. Fourth quarter is his quarter. I kept telling him, he started out the fourth quarter, we need you, turn up. And my job is to get him open. He knocked down a couple mid-ranges, then he's so fast, then he just laid up the game winner. He's making the right reads. Once I saw that confidence, he was like, you go there. I was like, oh, it's over, we won.
Even Sabonis, Morgan, it's the same thing. You got Mike Brown coaching him on the sidelines, trying to get his confidence to stay up, to try to challenge him to fight through things. Fox hasn't had to play for anything recently, right? You know what I mean? The Kings have been a bad team. Perspective. Mm-hmm. The Kings are sitting at 20-16 after 36 games. They didn't win their 20th game last season until February 5th when they improved to 20-35.
Why are you bringing up old shit?
My point is he's playing some meaningful games, and it takes a different level to close out games on the road. He helped them come back in that game at Orlando. Orlando's a young team, not a really good team. They've got some young talent. No one confuses Orlando as some hostile environment on the road. Salt Lake City in Utah? Not an easy place to win in a close game. And he went and said, I'm getting to my spots. He's waving off Mike Brown. Oh, Mike Brown wants a timeout? No, we got this. Sabonis trusting him. Sabonis and Fox going, we're going pick and roll here. That's what I love too late. And the Kings don't run a lot of pick and roll throughout a game. They're really wanted to get this motion offense in and get the ball moving around. But late in the game, Fox Sabonis pick and roll, because who's going to stop it, in this matchup? Now, some other teams might be able to, no doubt about it. But in this matchup, when Fox is playing like this against this team, easy money.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. And I think the understanding of that as a team was truly there. And everybody was willing to make sure that they were put into the right places too, to be there for their teammates. Why do you think you saw so much off ball movement, right? Guys cutting without the basketball, slashing through the paint, because the understanding to relocate was there, and not just along the perimeter. It was to be in the paint some way, somehow, and to make those two look even better as well.